Good morning, everyone. This is Elsie Kerns, your Chaos to Clarity coach. And this morning, I am with Janice Solomon, and she is the founder and creator of Finding Your Feminine Core. And beginning January 26th through February 1st, she's going to do a great online summit all about women's vitality. And there are 8 wonderful speakers, and I want to hear a little bit about them. I am one of the speakers. I'm privileged to be one of the speakers, and I'm really excited about this. So, Janice, tell us how all this came about, because I want to say to our audience that, you created this Finding Your Feminine Core, and this idea of having a summit has really been a dream of yours. So, tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, thank you, Elsie. Thank you for having me on Be Live. Um, so I've been involved with women's health for over 3 decades. And when I was in my 20s, I became a childbirth educator and a doula after I had my first birth. And at that time, I remember saying to my friends and colleagues, I want to work with women's health, but I'm going to have my own center. I'm going to have a women's health center. I went on to become a homeopath, and many of them went on to become midwives. Decades passed, and I realized that having a summit, having online programs, is actually a women's health center. It's the 21st century version of what I had dreamed about back then. And then coming a little bit more up to the present, I'd say in the last 10 years or so, starting to feel all the different things that I had been exposed to and learning in women's health, starting to kind of come together, like I want to say coalesce, I think that's the word. And that's what started to become what is now Finding Your Feminine Core. And doing the summit, well, Elsie and I have known each other for several years. We've been in Holistic Business Mastery, a program for holistic entrepreneurs. And yeah, this idea of having a summit started to grow in that program, but it took a little while till it actually was ready to burst forth. The seed was there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, not only am I one of the presenters, and I'm going to be talking about how energy medicine can help you maintain your vitality, because at 76, I rely on energy medicine.
Yeah.
But Kate Holt, who
Hmm.
was our teacher in our mastermind, I know she's going to be on. So, tell us a little bit about Kate, because
Sure.
she's really quite a lady.
Yes, yes. So Kate will be speaking on day 2, and I'm not going to be able to say everybody which day because I can't remember all of it. But anyway, she has happened to be on day 2. Kate's the director of the Core Institute, and been a core practitioner for many years. And what Kate and I talk about, and everybody, you too, I asked everybody the same questions. What does vitality mean to you? And what do you do in your life to increase or amp up your vitality? And then what do you share with the people that you work with? And one of the things Kate and I talked about was that um, in her work, both personally and professionally, it's about keeping that sexy aliveness, kind of keeping it yourself juicy. And so that's what we talked about. um, then I also have Joanne Bagshaw, who's a college professor and therapist who wrote the Feminist Handbook. And what Joanne and I talk about is so interesting. Each person has a different way of coming into this work. She was talking a lot about boundaries and how setting boundaries for herself, personally, professionally, but then also working with her clients, because then you're not leaking your energy all the time. You have a sense of you. So another way to increase vitality. Um, Erin Gallagher is going to be also a speaker, and she's going to speak about how you can transform pain into something purposeful. And one of the things we talk about is relationships with things like money, because everything's energy, and how are we kind of interchanging with it? And she also has a really cool take on what self care is, so that's worthwhile listening to. Um, Maya Carl will be coming on, and she's going to be talking a lot about using outdoors and nature as part of our vitality practice, as well as our relationship with food, and tuning inward, like not knowing that you know what to do. Mickey Beloy and I speak about what it's like to have community events and how we can really build up our vitality when we come together as group. And she shares also some of her personal practice as a shamanic healer. Who else? Don Haychek, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, who is, I've met him through as a photographer, but he really witnesses the divine feminine in his work as a photographer, and he talks a lot about dropping our guard. And then you and I talk about the vitality practices that you've been practicing for longer than anybody I know, and look at look at how it works, because of a shining example of vitality. Let me think if I left anybody out. No, I think that's everyone. And then myself. I come on day 1 and day 7 of the summit. It's 7 days. And what I'm going to be talking about will be on the last day, my 10 kind of top hits for vitality. And also, I'm going to be giving the blueprint for vitality. These are different things that I've learned to help share with people. So that's the whole lineup for the summit.
Janice, I know that, Maya Carl, for example, who also helps people with nutrition. One of the things that Maya and so many of these speakers have done is share their own vulnerability. And Maya shares her own issues with eating that she had struggled with, through all of her teenage
Mm-hmm.
years, and
Mm-hmm.
how she helped heal herself. And now, of course, healing other people. And the same with Mickey. And I haven't seen Don before, but I think it's great that he's witnessing that divine feminine through his photography and sharing that with the world, because we are in this new decade, which is really honoring the divine feminine. Would you agree with that?
I would totally agree with that. I've been saying this now for a little while, that the divine feminine, for me, the real movement of it upward and into our awareness has been for the last decade. I'd say about 2010 is when we started to seeing all this juicy material coming through. Think about how many sisterhoods and online groups and personal things. So, and divine feminine is the way that it's balancing out where the divine masculine has gone off. I mean, truthfully, we need the unity. I love, because you've taught me about using the infinity sign. We really need the unity of both of these energetic principles. It's not about being feminine or being masculine. It's about what's feminine energy and how can we utilize that, because we live in a very patriarchal, more masculine energy run world. So that's what finding your feminine core is about. It's a lot about connecting to feminine energy. So I think that, and that's just my take on divine feminine. So I totally agree with you.
One of the things I have mentioned to people is that your work as a homeopath, people were not really aware of the fact that Hahnemann Hospital in Philadelphia, which recently was bought out, was really named after Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, who created homeopathy. And it was in the 1800s a homeopathic hospital. In fact, the royalty of England still uses homeopathy. So can you just explain for our audience, I think the more we hear it, we need to hear it over and over again, how homeopathy works for us?
Yeah, sure, of course. And yes, the hospital is named for Hahnemann. And the interesting fact is that all the hospitals in the United States were homeopathic hospitals. If you go back and look through history, most doctors back in the 1800s were doing house calls. There weren't really hospital centers the way we know it today. And homeopathy has a rich history in the United States. So homeopathy, the quickest thing I can say is what it's not. It's not naturopathic medicine, where we bring in a lot of supplements and other things. And it's not herbal medicine, and I'm not a nutritionist. What I do is I look for what's the pattern, what's the energetic place that we're getting stuck, because that's going to affect our vitality. And how do we kind of shift it out of that place? So I often say we have like two songs playing at the same time. Like you have your Elsie song, But then you have this other song, which is a little bit louder, or at times, which are the symptoms and things that we notice, right? We kind of identify with, oh, I have a headache when it rains, or oh, my back hurts, or oh, I always feel anxious, blah blah blah, right? I'm not saying that that's your song. It's kind of like two songs playing on the radio at the same time. And we're trying to tune into our song because this distracts us. But this holds a lot of our vital energy. So homeopathy is looking at what is this pattern? What is this pattern? And we bring in something from nature that has healing energy in a very, very small amounts, just the energy of it, to help shift out of the loud, annoying, distracting song to bring back up our vital song. That's really what vitality is. It's we're connected with our vital force. And then everything runs because the vital force, our energy, our chi, our prana, there's so many words for this. When that's flowing, then we have the energy to enliven our immune system, our hormonal system, our circulatory system, etc. So homeopathy is a system of medicine that's been around for over 200 years based on this idea of like cures like.
I like that explanation. And actually, I don't think people understand that our general medicine in this country is, only a little over 500 years old, I believe. Is that right?
Well, not really, because if you go back and look at the time that Hahnemann was developing homeopathy, so we're talking like 1790s, 1800, we did have, he actually is the one who coined allopathic medicine, meaning allo meaning opposite, homeo similar. So at that point in time, what was medicine was actually a very crude form, but it really wasn't that old. So I don't even think 500 years. I think it's less. And we're talking about medicine that was about bloodletting and high doses of mercury to deal with syphilis, things like this, very crude. The medicine we think of today, it's really very short lived because in 1917, that's really when the AMA was growing. So that's not that long ago, if you think about it.
Janice, tell us how people can register for the summit. And there's also a special option. So tell us all about that. Give us the dates again.
Yeah.
I have the link up here for people on Facebook in case you want to click that link.
Cool. Yeah. And there's stuff all over social media right now as I'm, wanting more people to know about the summit. So first of all, I want to say it's free. It's online. And Elsie has the link here. You can also find it at Eventbrite. It's Women's Vitality Summit. You can come on to my website, Janice Solomon, SOLOMON, and find it there. And so signing up is really simple. All you have to do is either through Eventbrite or through the link that Elsie has here, you just enter your information and you're going to get your videos each day. They'll be up for 24 hours. They're about 30 to 40 minutes long, so they're pretty short. 2 days, there's some bonuses. There's 2 on 2 days. Anyway, so that's how you sign up. It's very simple. And then you'll get the information. Now, some people like to binge or know that during the week it's hard to make sure that they watch the video that comes up because it's only up for 24 hours. So if you're a binger or if you know your busy schedule won't allow you to watch the video each day, then you can buy it. It's a VIP early bird right now. It's for $47. So then you get all 9 sessions for the whole year of 2020. And there's so much information. I have watched each one over and over and taken notes. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, remember what Elsie said. Oh, remember what Maya said. So watching it again, this is how we build our vitality. You're not going to change your vitality in watching one summit, right? You probably want to be able to come back to it. So anyway, that's an offer. And that offer is till the 26th. If you want to get the early bird for $47 for all 9 sessions, that's open until January 26th. And all that information comes through when you register as well.
Well, that sounds perfect, Janice. And this is a great time to have this summit because it's winter and we've really had everywhere very kind of unusual, crazy weather. So I think it's helpful for people to know different ways that they can take care of themselves, not only through the winter, but through the entire year. These are things that each presenter is giving us tips for the physical body, the emotional body, intellectually, spiritually.
Yes.
So it's going to cover the gamut of every piece of your being.
Right, right. And I want you to know that I really hand selected each of the people who are speakers on the summit. Yourself, I've included, obviously. I wanted to make sure that I was giving a nice broad spectrum of possible ways that you can amp up your vitality. And if you're not sure, well, do I have a problem with vitality? Do I not have a, well, I'm not sure what this is. So it's that life force. So if you're feeling either depleted, tired, maybe this time of the year, it affects you a lot. Emotionally, you might feel depressed or sad, or maybe your body aches, because our body often gives us signals, right? When we're not feeling our full self, our full energetic, vital self. So if you feel some kind of disconnect from how you would like to feel, that flow of energy that you used to have when perhaps you were younger or different times of the year, this is what's really great, because you're going to have a lot of different practitioners giving you. You're going to resonate with one or another, and obviously everybody who's watching today resonates with your work, and that's why they come on Be Live. But here's an opportunity to amp it up, to have even more practices and more information to help with your vitality. And yeah, let's get 2020. This is a big year. It's a big year, starting a new decade. And women, we're the ones who have to be in our best, our strongest. We're the ones who are creating shifts and changes in the world.
Well, thank you, Janice. We sure do have to be at our best. 2020 is a big year. We've stepped into this whole new decade. The divine feminine is open, and it's, our desire to help those around us in each profession that we're in. And I want to say that if you're a mom, that's one of the most important professions, because you're helping to raise this next generation, which has enormous challenges ahead with 5G and the weather and everything going on. So it's really important for us to be strong and vital. We're living longer than ever. So every tip that you can take from this Women's Vitality Summit is to your advantage. So January 26th to February the 1st. And I have the link here, and you can also go to Janice's website, Janice Solomon, SOLOMON.com, and get that information as well. So, Janice, any last words for us before we slip off for the rest of Sunday
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. I want everyone to stop and think for a moment, like really connect with themselves, take a breath. And I'm going to give you one tip, that our vitality as women, the place where it gets stored and where we access it from, is in our pelvis, in the lower half of our body. So I just want to give everyone that encouragement to feel your feet, feel your legs, feel into your belly, let yourself sink inward. And of course, there's going to be a lot more on the summit, because that's really what's going to be starting to give you that juju, that juice. So you have that alive, vital feeling. And thank you so much for letting me share all of this on your Be Live.
Well, Janice, it's so much fun to have this great technology. You're in Nyack, New York. I'm down here in New Jersey.
Right.
And this technology is going to continue to increase. So thanks so much for joining us, everybody. And we're going to see you on the summit beginning next Sunday, January 26th.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.